Welcome to the Look Who It Is podcast, where we sit down with artists to talk music, life, and all the stories in between. Now here's your host, Dane Engle.
Hey everyone, today I'm talking with country songwriter Roger Springer. I seen, the other day that Will was on the radio there. Was it in Nashville there?
Yeah, he went and did a segment there with WSM one evening, and with Aaron over there in the evening show. It was really good. He did really good.
Actually, somebody dropped your name, and then that's why I looked you up, and I was like, oh man, this guy's awesome. I need to talk to him.
Oh,
Matt Castillo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. He come out and visited me one day, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How's that even work? Like,
man, I've been writing songs, for this is my 36th year. So I started a long time ago. I find these young singers that I got something in common with that love country music, love the same kind of stuff I do. And I've been fortunate enough to find some really talented people here lately.
Yeah, you like that traditional country, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I cut. Yeah, that's the only country I know.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to believe how many different kinds of country there is now.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's sure broadened out. But I believe that traditional country music's making a big, strong comeback, though.
Right, yeah, I know. I hear all the stuff now, and it's like stuff I grew up on or stuff I heard, in the car when I was a kid.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the way it's. That's what's coming back around. That's Zach Top kind of putting it back on the map. Jake Worthington and a bunch of other guys. I've been lucky to work with all those guys.
Yeah, Jake and all them. So they reach out to you, you reach out to them, kind of both?
That kind of both, maybe, I guess. I find, I reach out to some and some reach out. So
what's that whole process like? They come to see you and you sit down when you first meet someone. Like, what do you try to do?
Find out who they are. Find out who they are musically, and who they are as a person, and we got something in common, and especially the music part and the life part too. I kind of keep a pretty small circle. I don't write with a lot of people, but just the ones I, fall in love with their talent, and that's the only way I can do it.
You usually stay with these guys and work with them because like Will, you've worked with him for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, we're about 6 years in. Yeah, I don't quit when I start working with somebody that I believe in, till it's just no other choice. But I wouldn't quit on them then. Like Mark Chesnutt and I, we started writing together back in 1994. I rode the bus with him 7 years. We're still great friends. When he calls, I still send him songs, and I keep a small circle, but it's a loyal circle. That's what I'm always looking for.
All right. So you're living in Nashville now?
I live on the outskirts, about an hour out.
Okay. I got some family. I'm actually going there end of this week. Yeah, I got some family that lives in Thompson Station.
Cool. That's a cool place.
Yeah, it's nice down there. So everybody's traveling to you a lot of times. You still go out back to Oklahoma and stuff much?
I made a trip a couple of weeks ago or last week. Can't remember now. I think it was last week. I went for just 2 or 3 days, but I don't get back there very much anymore. Too busy.
Yeah.
Nashville's that city that gets you afraid to leave town for 2 days. You're afraid you'll miss writing a hit song with somebody.
True. Do you think you'd still be this busy?
No, I tell you what, I'm so thankful for it, but it's got busier. I haven't been, my phone hadn't rang a whole lot over the last 20 years because I didn't write that kind of music, and so to see the resurgence of some real country music back with some real lyrics and real melodies has been great. I'm seeing a whole bunch of it. It's great to see them come to town.
Heck yeah.
It's turned my life into really busy lately.
Yeah. Good, man. That's awesome. And it's whenever you first started hearing that, you probably like, I'm back. Time to shine again, right?
Well, you know what? I knew someday that it would come back our way. It always does, but I didn't know how long it was going to be. I really just was wishing I lived long enough to see it come back. One one of my friends, Tim Menzies, told me back in the '90s. He said, "You know what we're doing is going to go away someday." And we were killing it at that time, and he said, "But when it comes back, it won't never come back exactly the way that it was." So all this time, I've been thinking it would come back a little bit more progressive than what we did in the '90s, but I was wrong. It come back more back to the '80s and '70s and '60s country. Because these kids were on YouTube when they didn't like what was on the radio, they got on YouTube and found the authentic stuff. And I think they're more authentically country than we were.
Yeah. I'm always surprised there's not a lot of artists from where I live in Indiana.
Right.
And I just like even trying to look local people up and stuff. I have a hard time finding a lot of Indiana country artists.
Oh, you know, I don't know that I've ever met a singer from Indiana.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like 90% rural, you know. I live out in the middle of cornfields and stuff like that.
Right, right. No country singers there, huh?
Yeah, none close. Maybe like a couple, but nothing, you know, nobody who's, I guess, you would say made it big.
Right, right. Well, maybe there's one coming.
Well, it's not going to be me, but I hope so.
Right. Yeah.
So I see you work with Tim a lot still.
Oh, Tim and I have been writing together since '91, many years. Tim's one of the best, and he's helping me with writing with Will and Colton Dawson, who's amazing, who's fixing to make a big splash. He's 19 years old. Chuck Ainley and I are producing a record on him just coming up in about 3 weeks in November. We're excited about that, cutting the whole record, and it's going to be some good. It's going to be real traditional country music, and this kid's amazing. So, and Will's doing really good. His numbers are growing and making more noise every day. So, and Jake Worthington, things are happening for Jake there, and it's glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I seen he's going on tour with Luke Combs, I think, or something.
Luke Combs,
yeah,
out there with Zach right now.
Yeah, from Zach to Luke. Yeah, that's good.
Good stuff.
Heck yeah, 19 though. That's so young.
I'm telling you, these kids they're so amazing to me. Or not these kids, this kid, and any kid, I guess. He plays a guitar extremely well. Plays the electric guitar, lead guitar, and sings and writes. Good little writer, and there's some amazing talent coming. He's one of them.
So when you guys work together, you like sometimes just being in the room get their juices flowing. Sometimes you just sat back and you go, "Do you even need me?"
Yeah, you know what? I hope they need me. But when we start writing a song, we usually don't even have. When we sit in a room, we usually don't even have an idea. We just sit, grab our guitars, and start. Somebody start playing them, and a melody will come out, and we'll usually write our way into a title. So it's just the energy in the room. That's why you got to love the people that you're in the room with, or admire them, and respect their talent. And usually great things happen when you get the right people in the room together.
So do you guys have the same approach, or you just see what comes?
Pretty much, these young guys, they'll show up with some ideas, and some grooves and titles once in a while. And I hardly ever have one. I've been writing so long, that's usually just every day off the cuff for me. But it seems to me that that's probably when the best songs come along, when you're not trying to make them up. You're just kind of writing the truth. And writing some country music, just writing some life experience, good, funny, bad, ugly, all of it.
And then I guess when you hear songs that you guys work on and then they come out, so it has enough of your influence and then what you're feeling at the moment, then it kind of takes you back to that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I love, I told somebody this other day, I used to back in the '90s, I would learn all those songs that got recorded and, I could play them out at writers' nights. I couldn't sit here with my guitar today and play you one song I've written in the last 5 or 6 years. Because every day's a new song, And so it's a numbers game where you write and write and write and you cherry pick the best stuff and that's how you make great records.
So even when you're not working with someone, you still just constantly writing things and thinking of things.
I'm been very busy lately. I don't know. I don't sit down with my guitar when I don't have an artist here to write with. I don't never pick it up, but I will write some stuff down at night. Sometimes I have some thoughts I'll put some stuff in my phone, you know, and look at it when we're writing. And I pick some stuff out of that.
So what's free time look for you like now?
There's not a lot of free time.
No?
Not
Dang.
a lot.
Swamped, man.
It's pretty busy, yeah. It's been crazy, but good. I'm very thankful.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got to catch you then.
Oh, yeah, I am. That me too.
Yeah, I haven't been. So I'm not strictly like a country person that would, like I kind of talk to everybody and just get to listen to all. I've talked to, bluegrass and country and rock artists and stuff like that. So I just like to find everybody, pick their brain, and it's
Right.
just great learning all the different things that everybody has to say.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a great business, and I've been very fortunate to be a part of it for as long as I have, and hope I'm going to continue going for the last round here.
So you have anybody new that you just started working with?
Colton is the newest one. I'm working with Belle Franz, who's an incredible female singer, traditional country. Chandler Walters, and over at Big Loud, I've been writing with him a bunch. He is amazing. I've written 2 or 3 things with Ernest over there, and man, what a talented guy that guy is too. He can go all the way through every genre and be incredible in all of them. I don't know how he does it, but he's very knowledgeable. Chandler's the same way. Them boys are in a different category.
Gives us hope, doesn't it?
I'm telling you, yeah. I'm telling you, there's more talent. There's more talent. I'm seeing more talent here. The kind of talent we look for in the 90s, I'm seeing more of it show up. It's just better. I mean, it's good. There was great stuff in the 90s, but what I'm seeing here just more advanced and more back to authentic country music.
And I feel like country's probably like on top on genres right now too. I feel like, the most popular artists out there and stuff right now are country artists.
Right. That's right. Yeah, a lot going on.
So, yeah. You get to go out. I mean, are you just working? Do you get to go? You go out and listen to people still, though? Like
very, very seldom. I am playing a writer's round with Colton tomorrow, which is something I seldom do. He called me a few days ago and asked me to do it, and then I'm going to jump on there with him. That's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to that. But I don't get out a lot. I usually just, if I go to town to write, if I have to go to the record companies and write, I'll do that. And but most of the time I write here at my house.
So is that where all your TikToks are with like you and Will and stuff?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And Tim, I see him a lot. How'd you guys meet, you and Tim?
You know what? Renee Bell back in '91 introduced us. She was the Tony Brown's assistant over at MCA Records, and they signed me to a record deal over there for a moment. So my first job here was as an artist on MCA, and during that time, Renee hooked me and Tim up to write. The record deal didn't last, but the writing friendship did.
That's cool. I try to find, so I can find like Roger Springer Band and stuff on streaming, but I can't find hardly any of your solo stuff out there.
Well, there's only there's one video that's still on YouTube that I'm pretty embarrassed about. But that's
what?
It. That's the only thing left of the 1991 record. And after I started really writing songs. I didn't have no choice. I had to start writing songs in 1992. I signed with EMI Music Publishing. At that time, they were the world's largest publisher, and there was 97 writers under that roof when I started. And I started on the bottom floor of that. And thank goodness to guys like Tim Menzies, Dean Dillon, Tony Martin, that I got to stay in their room, great writers, and learn how to write songs. And so after some success throughout the 90s of having some hits, Mark Chesnutt and I, we had a great run together. He recorded 33 of the songs we wrote together. And after a string of hits there, well, then Doug Johnson from Giant, which was Warner Brothers, came to me and wanted me to record another album, and he wanted to do it as a band, like a group. And at first, when he came and asked me, I was like, I didn't really want to do it, even though I kind of wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it because I was on such a roll writing. I was afraid that would just mess all that up. I ended up cutting the record, and and it was a great experience. This time I kind of knew more what I was doing, got to cut the songs I wanted to cut, had great producers with Ed C. and John Hobbs, and it was a great time. But things were starting to change. I had been here a while, and I ended up asking off the record label, and I went deer hunting for about 5 years.
Nice. But you came back, right?
Yeah, I came back. It turns out deer hunting doesn't pay near as well as songwriting does.
Right, yeah. It doesn't. Man, you just been busy ever since then, huh? And
Yeah.
I watched something said, what, like 12 or 13 you started writing?
Started writing probably 13 maybe, and wrote a few. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it. But my grandmother my grandmother Springer was a poet. Was a locally famous a woman there. She wrote for the newspaper. She always had a column in the paper, and it always had some poetry, real country stuff. So I started doing that when I was about 13. Then I had an old wayward uncle on the other side of my family that played a fiddle and played them honky-tonks. I'd go down to his house when I was 14, 15 years old. He'd give me a drink of moonshine and play that old fiddle for me. So I kind of got the worst of both worlds, maybe, the best of both.
Then how old were you when you actually was starting to play out and play music?
I was in my 20. I was probably 23 when I started playing in clubs back in Oklahoma with my cousin's band back there, and they played the Elks Lodge, the Moose Lodge, and all the country place rodeos and all that good stuff. And I did that to start making extra money. I was working at a sausage factory and skinning hogs, and working at a rendering plant for about $180 a week. And so I could go out and play on the weekends and make another 100, and that helped me pay my bills. I kind of just cut my teeth in them honky-tonks back there through the 90s. I mean, through the 80s. And then at 1989, I moved here.
Did you ever do, like when you played, did you do Texas much?
We played, back when we were a local band, way back then before I moved to Nashville. Yeah, we played some Texas honky-tonks in Oklahoma. I grew up right on the Red River, about 20 miles from the Texas line, so it wasn't a very far trip to Texas. But back then there wasn't this Texas scene. There was just clubs and honky-tonks.
Yeah, I talked to some guys, and they're from Paris, Texas. You know where that's at?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
My mother was born in Honey Grove. That's not too far from Paris.
Okay, yeah. I've been to Texas once, so I went to Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, got to go to the stockyards. Went to Billy Bob's. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool place. Yeah, ain't nothing like Cowtown.
It was hot though. I was glad to come home.
Yeah, it gets hot down there, buddy.
So then you moved here, and then you had. So when did your first single come out? Then, with The Right One Left?
The Right One Left come out in I think the beginning of '92, and I was probably off the record deal in 3 or 4 weeks after that. It didn't take long for that to fail, and for me to get sent packing. Which things happened too fast for me. When I got here, the signing frenzy was on. If you come from Oklahoma, Texas, wore a cowboy hat and sang, you pretty much had a pretty good chance of getting a record deal at that time. So mine, I think I'd been in town like 2 months when I got a record deal, and I thought, boy, I'm so lucky that this happened so fast. But it was really the worst thing that could have happened, because I hadn't been here long enough to learn anything. I didn't know, I didn't know what a hit song was. I just wasn't there. So it was a good learning experience for all of that, because I learned a whole lot what not to do, through that time. And I'm thankful for the experience. And the songwriting, Whitey Shaper was a legend songwriter. He's also one that I owe credit to for being able to learn. And it's a school. I mean, you have to really learn. You can be talented and move here, or have a little bit of talent, but without the education of guys that knew how to do this, I'm so thankful that I got to be in their rooms. He told me one time he loved being a songwriter. He said he had just enough notoriety to get a good seat at a great restaurant, but not enough to be interrupted while he was eating.
Yeah, that sounds like the dream there. Yeah.
Songwriting, Yeah, I'm not saying I even have that status, but I'd rather be in my house writing songs than I had. I lived 7 years out there with Chesnutt on the bus, and I enjoyed all that time. But I was ready to get off and be at home when that was over.
So when you were with Mark, were you playing with him?
No, we were just writing songs.
So you're just on the bus?
Just me and Mark. And Mark had a private coach, so it was just me and him and the driver and a road manager. So there's only 3 guests back there in the back, and the road manager, he was an older guy, and he'd go to bed pretty early. And Chesnutt and I would, after those shows, he was playing all them coliseums back then. And after the show, we'd get on the bus and crank up some cold beer, country music, and then we'd end up getting into a song before the night was over. And we did that for a long time.
So what would you do during you just go and watch the show and?
Yeah, I just hang out with Mark, man. I'd take him to stage, help, bring him back to the bus. We were just really good friends. I'd go to Texas and hunt and fish with him when I got the opportunity, and we were just like brothers. We had a lot in common and loved the same kind of music. Like I said, we're still great friends.
So like songs that you guys would write together and stuff, like how many of those would you write and then it'd go nowhere, or like you'd write a song and then you'd be like, nah, we're not even going to do anything with that one?
We wrote some of them back then in that day. It was kind of, and again, as a songwriter, not everything that you pick up your guitar and write is a hit, and knowing the difference is the key to everything. So we would write songs. I mean, he didn't cut everything we wrote, but every once in a while we'd write a really good one, and we'd make money on it.
How would you just know when it was a good one?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I was beginning to know back then, but these days I know more than I did then. Even I mean, not that I knew everything back then, but today the more you stay in this stuff and the more you do it, you just you get better at judging what's great and what's not.
Do you kind of have that with artists too? Like when you meet an artist or something like that comes in, you can be like, this guy's going to be big, or this girl's there.
I know in about 80 seconds. It's a business, I mean, it's a business. You just can't write with everybody, and you just don't have time to do that. So you have to pick and choose, and you have to choose wisely where you want to spend your time, because anybody who does this knows that you could be on a journey that lasts 2 months. It could last 7 years, and you have to do everything right that you can, and write the best songs you can to make that happen. So
you've been on both journeys.
I've been on a few journeys. Yes, I brought William Michael Morgan to town and put him through his first 4 years, and he went on Warner Brothers and had a big hit. And I'm not sure what he's doing these days, but some come and some go.
Right. You still keep a lot. I know you, Mark, but a lot of other people that you've worked with, they stay in pretty close contact with you.
Yeah, like I said, I've always kept my circle pretty small, and you just have to. You find out who you work the best with, and usually there's not just a ton of those. You could put 2 hit songwriters together, and a guy might just love everything that guy's written, but you put them together, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So you find those guys that you click with. They're, to me, they become, they're more family to me. If I'm going to write songs with you, I got to love you or respect you, as a human being. And we got to have things in common. I mean, if you're not a country boy, if you're not a country boy, hadn't hunted and fished or done some of that stuff, we probably ain't going to have a whole lot in common.
Now, what about Will and Jake? Because they have a song together. And
yes.
then I've seen you working with both of them at the same time.
Oh yeah. We're all hang out a lot together when they get the chance. We write. Jake and Will will be over here at the house at the same time. We've done that for several years. It's always, it's like having family come home, when they come back. Jake lives in Oklahoma. He was a Texas guy. I introduced him to his wife. She was my neighbor in Oklahoma. I called him up and told him, I said, hey, I want to introduce you to my neighbor. I said, you're going to marry her. And he just laughed and said, yeah. And about a year later, they were married. Will lives in New Mexico. Okay. And Colton, he's from Arizona. he just moved. He just became a Tennessee resident. He's here to get it done, and so yeah, everybody travels. When they usually come, when the guys come from out of state, they usually stay here at the house, and we just have a song camp. We'll write for 3 or 4 or 5 days, usually 4 or 5 days, and they'll stay here at the house. We'll cook and eat, and we'll just go through our regular routine in the daytime of writing, and we'll write usually. I mean, sometimes 4 or 5 hours, and sometimes 10 hours a day. Kind of just woodshed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. See, this is all stuff I never would have even thought about or even known.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
it's work, but it's if you get to do what you love for a living, it makes life a lot better.
So do you know how many songs you're actually on in total?
That I've written that's been recorded? Maybe 140. I just got a new gold record. It's funny, things have changed. I just got a new gold record from on the Zach Top's first record. I hadn't had a gold record in 27 years, so it was a nice little reward there.
Yeah, okay. It's one of those things you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You have eggs in lots of baskets.
Yeah, well, yeah, you gotta do that. Like I said, I don't have that many. A handful of writers and artists that I work with. Like I said, people I believe in the most, and hopefully some more come along. I have some more time. I'd love to meet some more that's that's about to put records out on the radio.
Where do you usually meet people then?
Social media is where I have a lot of people reach out from social media, and if I Colton, I saw Colton on online singing Jake Worthington song that me and Jake wrote, and he was just. I mean, I didn't know how old he was. Turned out he was 18 years old, but he just blew me away. I just reached out. I just thought to myself, man, what a great job! And we got to talking, and he was still in high school, and so I told him, I said, when you get out of school. Or I think him and his dad made a trip down here before he graduated, and we just got to hanging out and writing songs. And Chuck Ainley and I are fixing to produce a record on him in November. And Chuck's, my goodness, Chuck is a Grammy-winning engineer and has been involved in the George Strait records for like 30 years. He's the best in my opinion, and I think everybody else in town would say the same. He's one of the best country engineers on the planet. So we're really lucky to get to work with Chuck.
Fun. It's probably exciting too, when you see some potential in somebody too.
Oh yeah. It's exciting. I love seeing them talented people.
So you got big plans tonight, or I get you out of stuff, or?
I have no plans tonight. I'm just going to hang out here and, like I said, get out tomorrow night and go play a little round with Colton and I'm going to go upstairs a little bit and look out my window.
My kids go to bed pretty early, or I have to go to bed to make my kids go to bed early. So I'm in bed by 9 o'clock every night.
Yeah. It'll get earlier.
Then I wake up and it's like 3 a.m. I'm wide awake.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do now? But I seen you like a lot of steel guitar stuff too.
Love steel guitar stuff. But, I love fiddles and steel guitar. I mean, that's quintessential country music. If you don't have a fiddle and a steel, you need to add on to your band.
I went a couple weeks ago and seen Cody Jinks.
Oh, yeah.
In Indianapolis, yeah, and that was good. And he had a steel player, and he was awesome.
Yeah. Steel guitar and country music and a fiddle just go together.
I know you play guitar. You play other instruments?
Very little piano that I played. I played a little bit of banjo, which is self-taught. I'm really not good, but that's if I was going to play anything that took my mind off of this stuff for a minute, I love bluegrass, and I love picking around on the banjo a little bit. Play a little bit of piano, not well, but enough to write a melody on. I've written a few songs on plunking my way around a piano.
Who do you like to listen to when you listen to bluegrass?
You know what? I love the Osmond Brothers. And again, I don't have the luxury of turning on bluegrass records all the time, and listening to some of my favorite music. Ralph Stanley, I love all that stuff, but I don't get to listen to it. What goes in must come out. And so,
right.
I don't listen to a lot of music. I haven't in many, many years. I don't listen to radio. I turn it on once in a blue moon just to see what's happening. But when you're writing songs all the time, you really don't want to put all those melodies in your head because you'll end up getting on somebody's stuff. And if you also when you're writing songs long enough, you realize you're really not the one doing it. I mean, they just kind of come from somewhere else, and fall on you like a ton of bricks. And you better have a tape recorder going when that magic happens and capture it because usually it don't come twice. So I'll keep a recorder going and pick up my guitar, or one of my co-writers may do the same thing and capture magic in a bottle there. And then the craft of songwriting comes in on the lyrics. Knowing how to write a country lyric and put it with those melodies. That's the magic of songwriting. But those melodies, they're just a gift. They come from somewhere unexplainable.
I guess I never thought of not having outside influence.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense though.
It really does. You can pick your guitar and it just falls out. You don't know where it came from and go, oh wow, that was special. So those are the ones. Usually when you're trying to make up something, it's not worth a darn.
Do you ever have to do that? Take a break? Like you guys will be sitting in a room together and you'll be like, all right, we're just going to take an hour and go do something else.
We do. When you get stuck on a song, as long as that song is coming and going, everybody's different. Like me and Chandler Walters, we get in the room and our Ernest, those guys are so fast. But it's good. So the speed of the game in that room is really quick. I think I've been in the room with Chandler like 7 days and we've written like 23 songs. We've written multiple songs a day in a 3 or 4 hour period. He's recorded some and has a good pile of songs. So other rooms are a little slower and Tim and I are slower together. We're usually a long day, but everything comes out, just has to work the way it works.
Right. And it probably doesn't, whether it's fast or slow, doesn't decide whether the song is going to be a good song or bad song,
No, it doesn't. I mean, if you've been writing as long as I have, you start writing more consistent, good songs than bad because you learn real quick, to process the ideas when they come to you. And, if a melody hits you and you get on the wrong one, you got to weed it out. You learn to weed those stuff out real quick. So instead of writing just songs that I think are going to be okay, we just don't write them. If they pop up, we might fool with it for 5 or 10 minutes. And if it's not, if it's starting to lose its magic or steam there, its feeling, we just trash it and, move to another idea. So self-editing, makes your odds a lot better at just writing consistently great songs.
I feel like you should put out like a book or an instructional video.
But if I knew the ingredients to it all, we could all be trillionaires. But me and somebody was talking about this the other day, and if I had to sit down and explain to somebody how to do this, I couldn't give them an answer. I really don't know after all these years of doing it. It's really, like I said, I can't really take any credit for it. I mean, I did my work and learning, some craft of songwriting, but it's just divine intervention.
So when was the last time you played out before tomorrow?
It has been a minute. Well, that's been a while, maybe a year. I can't even remember. The Bluebird, I think, was maybe the last time I played out, and that's been over a year ago.
Do you like playing out and playing on stage?
Not really, but I mean, I do if it's a friend that I'm doing it with. They ask me to come and do it, which I do once, like I said, once in a blue moon. I just don't do it very much. I just don't have time for one thing, and but yeah, I enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun tomorrow night with Colton.
Good. I kind of understand what the writers' round thing is, but like, what's your idea of it? Like, what is the whole concept of like going and doing these?
Well, for a guy like me, it's just strictly for fun because I'm just gonna get up there and play songs I've had recorded. But and another thing too, you get to see. I mean, I get to see talent while I'm there. And see who I can see up there that's who I think has something special. But it's always fun to hear new songs and stuff. But I don't and for them, They get a chance to get up there and show people what they can do and connect with other writers, and they can hook up and write. Everybody's got to do their own journey, and it's good for those young writers.
Is there usually is it just specifically like writers to writers? Is there maybe somebody in the audience that might?
There's always, music industry people around just about everywhere. They get out, people from A&R departments, people from publishing companies. So it's great for those young writers. They go out and check up those new talents coming into town as well. I'm not sure how often, but I would assume pretty often. And it's great for them to get out and do that. It's great for the town, great for them, and it's the way they get, through the maze of the music business.
How do you like doing social media?
I don't do it much. I'm on social media just to kind of promote the people I'm working with. I just share their stuff and keep up with them. But for me personally, I don't use social media for anything that I do. I'm just
Right.
here to promote them. Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people, and like a lot of musicians, and they don't like it that much. It's way too time consuming.
Oh man, I couldn't do it. I'm telling you, I feel sorry for them that they have to do that in this day and time. That's all new to me. That wasn't, there wasn't no internet in the 90s. So.
Right. And I mean, there's still radio, but I couldn't even tell you the last time I sat down and turned the radio on. I listened to everything streaming or on the internet, so.
Right. Yeah, that's what everybody does these days, I guess. But, radio's still doing great, and you still, God bless country radio. I mean, you got to have them, and without them, where would we be?
Right. I don't even think I have one classic rock station here, but I think every other station I can pick up is country.
Right. Right. That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's a lot of country here. We had an oldie station, but then they got bought out, and now they're country too. So. Well, I thank you for coming on. I don't want to keep you since you got a free evening.
I do have a free evening. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed our conversation.
No kidding. And thanks for all the effort you put into getting on this thing with the computer.
Yeah.
You're going to send me a bill, aren't you?
That's right, yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good evening, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Night.